Welcome to Carver Conversations. I'm your host, Tiff Marchand from Carver Designs, and this is a Saburrtooth podcast, and I couldn't be more excited to be here. Head on over to saburrtooth.com and sign up for their mailing list. They send out a coupon once a month for 25% off. You have 24 hours to use it, so you're not going to want to miss out on that chance. You can use our show code to save 10% off. The code is EM2CO. Head on over, sign up for the mailing list, and if you want to buy them now, EM2CO at checkout. Make sure to have that all in caps, and on to the show. Thank you so much for joining. I want to say this is a very fun special. We have 4 makers who all do something very, very different from each other. We have Keith from Blackthorn Concepts, Emmett from Deadrise Woodcrafts, Chris from Sweet Corn Brooms, and then Kyle from Hallstick Furniture and Signs. These gentlemen all were really fun. And they didn't want to let me go, let's be honest. They kept me on for a while, far after I normally go. But that's okay because we were having a really nice time chatting. So I hope you enjoy the conversation, and please go check out their accounts. Get to know these guys a little bit more. Thank you guys all for joining today. Look, as I messaged most of you guys, it's very open. We're just gonna hang out, get to know each other. And if you guys have questions for each other, feel free to ask them. I did a little stalking, as I like to do. I like to put research in on podcasts, and I went on everybody's pages, and everyone here does something so different. So it's really fun because you all power carve, but all in a very, very different way. I don't know if you want to just kind of talk about what you do or introduce yourself. Kyle, do you mind going first?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm Kyle. My page is Hallstick Furniture and Signs. Also got a YouTube channel, Kyle Woodworker. As far as power carving goes, I feel like I didn't really get into it until after I started chainsaw carving.
Yeah.
Kind of started with that, and then it just kind of went from there. Found it to be a little helpful to have die grinders and power carving tools to add detail and do intricate work with the chainsaw work.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've transitioned the power carving into the furniture that I built.
That's
so
awesome.
Using that to create fish to add to, tables, or like little video I posted earlier today, shaping a root base so that I can have the shape that I want.
I saw that. Yeah.
Forming and creating and things.
That's really cool. And do you live somewhere that there's like a lot of wilderness and nature? I feel like you must if you're creating a lot of animals, right?
Yeah. We live in town, but we're at the foothills of the Adirondacks in upstate New York. So it is literally 10 minutes. I can be deep in the woods.
It makes sense though. Like that's what people are craving. They want to have art that expresses where they live.
Yeah, we like I said, we live in town, but if you take a short drive up into the Adirondacks, there's just a lot of people with beautiful camps and log homes that are looking for this style of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Carved fish, birds, bears, and then the rustic furniture that kind of goes with it.
I used to talk to Adirondack Jim a lot. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I know Jim.
Okay, when I first started hand router carving, he does that. And we were in like a group for a while. And when I was just learning, he was great to chit chat with. And it was nice knowing somebody that's semi-local because I'm in Massachusetts. So I'm just right over. Right. So, but yeah, he was great. And yeah, same thing. It's all very much themed for your area. You have like a nice market.
Yeah, we really do. It has its peak seasons. I always assume every other place deals with that too. Your people that come up to their camps for the summer, and winter's usually slow, but you get a lot of locals that keep you busy year round.
That's cool. I feel like Chris has like that too. Like you must know the ups and downs. I saw that you do a lot of markets.
I actually do this for my sanity.
No, I like that.
So I work for a big company in Rochester, Minnesota. Okay. And it doesn't have I'm an architectural designer by trade, and my current job doesn't have a lot of creative juice fuel. So this all started when my wife says, you need to get a hobby. So it's just, this whole thing started with wanting to help out a history show that's in town. It all started with Brooms, and then the carving came in when a friend of mine, we were just goofing around. She is a marathoner, loves the Boston Marathon, and Tiffany should know the mascot for the Boston Marathon.
I should,
Isn't
but
it
I'm
a
no
unicorn?
runner. Is it?
I'm not.
I have no idea. I'm a bad
Anyway.
Massachusetts person. I'm on the West Coast.
Okay, there you go.
I'm not
a
on
far
the
enough
East Coast.
jog away. So anyway, she's really into unicorns, and we were just loopy after work, and it's like, wouldn't it be really cool to have a unicorn horn as a broom handle? And that is literally how I got started with power carving.
Awesome.
The idea took, and I found one of those rotary rasps in the back of one of my tool drawers, chucked it into my drill press, and started carving spirals. And I thought, well, this is kind of fun but difficult. And then I found Saburrtooth. I had ordered one of those cylinders for the die grinder and was accidentally shipped a sphere, which I'm glad, because that was the best thing that I have ever tried. And I just started going to town, cutting all these, trying to fancy up broom handles. And my sticks got bigger and bigger, and pretty soon I was doing canes and walking sticks. It's just, and then it kind of turned into, again, it's like I had all this wood that I was gonna hand split into broom handles, and that plan changed after 5 years of it drying in my shed. And then I started making bowls, and this whole power carving thing was kind of a hopscotch trip for me, just one jump to the next.
Yeah.
I have no idea how I got here, but I'm here.
Everyone I talk to on like the Saburrtooth Instagram, I say the same to them. I'm like, it's addicting. Watch out.
Oh my gosh.
And they all reply like, I can't get enough. Like, it's just so fun.
I spent last summer, I spent about $1,000 getting a nice Grizzly canister dust collector, just so I wouldn't have to wait for nice days out in the driveway.
Smart.
It's just, you need all those CFMs when you're using Saburrtooth bits.
Yeah, it's messy. It's messy.
It's fun.
It's a good time. You've had some fun
gosh.
when your shop is, just covered.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah. When I remember to put my drapes down, because I'm trying to keep a little clean room and a little shield, but
good luck to that.
What happens.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Oh,
so anyway, that's how I got into it.
It's awesome. How about you, Emmett?
I actually just started. I don't do much power carving like all you guys. So I do mostly lathe work, and in 2020 I did a little thing where I chose a couple two makers a month to do 2 videos a month and do a swap with. And one of my projects, I wanted to do a little treescape. So that was my first. I wanted to try power carving the base, just to give it like an organic shape and kind of do some cliffs and stuff. And then that's what I did, and I fell in love with making those treescapes. So after I did that one, my wife loved that. So after 2020 was over, I made one for her, and that's kind of how I got started. I bought a cheap little kit off of Amazon that had like a sort of a burr, something that's very dangerous.
Those ones that just burn up really fast,
and the flap wheel. And I actually learned the flat wheel worked better than the cheap burr.
Mhm.
And then the one that was very dangerous, I was like, I'm just throwing that away because I'm going to cut something off. And discovered Saburrtooth from Rebecca DeGroot, listening to their podcast and watching her work. So, and then after you guys asked me to be on, I was like, you know what, I'm going to try one of these things because I was very scared to pull the trigger because I didn't think I would use it enough. But I bought a wheel and then a set of little burrs, and I haven't used the burrs much. I did do that little tree recently, but yeah, the disc it makes the world of difference. I mean, it cuts so much better than it, and the flat wheel just burnt. I mean, I cut a lot of material to make those little cliffs and ledges. So
yeah,
I did a lot more burning.
I started with
than I
the
did
flat
cutting.
disc. They are great if you're just going to do some small things, but if you're going to try to really work it, it burns out or gets clogged up and it's unusable. Yeah, I started with the flat disc as well, and I was hooked. I was hooked. Right, you too? Yeah.
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 Clogged up a bunch of them.
Yep.
Thank goodness for Harbor Freight.
Yeah, you're like, there's got to be something better.
Except, after a good month, it's like, Saburrtooth would have been cheaper.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mentioned that when I was talking to like the owner and stuff. I'm like, it's an expensive tool, but it's like well worth it for the amount of money you end up saving for not having to buy another tool. Like, you get it, you use it, you keep using it. It's pretty awesome. And how about you, Keith?
I actually got in through the Awesome Oranges We Make Sawdust Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I'd always wanted to try it. I always wanted to buy the disc to make like a seat pan. My dream has always been to make my own chair, and I haven't done it yet. But I was following it and Rebecca DeGroot and stuff. And then I got, I guess, selected to be in the We Make Sawdust Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And I went for it, and I dove right into carving alabaster. So that's how I got started.
What made you want to enter it?
I had always wanted to do power carving, but I never pulled the trigger, So I figured if they're going to give out a burr for competition, why not try? So I did it, and now I'm hooked.
It's not
It's
like
a lot
it's
of fun.
a like easy competition either. Like, it's a fast-paced competition.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're supposed to carve until
That moment.
that moment. Yeah, because you have to open your box with her. And it was definitely interesting, fast paced, but I didn't know what we had to carve going into it. But I went on this Saburrtooth website and I found out what I could carve. So I saw alabaster on there, and that was always something I wanted to work with. So I ordered alabaster before the box of burrs came, just hoping I could use it.
Yeah.
For whatever it was. I figured I could build around whatever we had to do. And then it wound up just being a candle holder. So it was perfect. So
That worked out nicely.
yeah, it did work on that.
Yeah.
It was actually, Keith, I was when I was watching your little piece on when you were making that candle holder, a friend of mine was getting rid of 3 like shoebox fulls of soapstone and sort of some alabaster in there. So I jumped on that, but I haven't tried it yet. So
I tell you what, I probably shouldn't say this, but it's so much easier than carving wood.
No grain, no poles.
There is grain in it, but you'll see the grain before you get it. And there's only like 1 vein of grain where there'll be a little granite in there. And the rest of it is just like whatever you want to do, it does.
Yeah.
So you can go any direction you want. It's so easy.
I have not tried stone.
No, there's a lot
Not
of
yet.
sanding involved. I mean, it's very time consuming to get it all polished up right, but it works out nice in the end.
do you guys all hand sand?
I don't. I mostly power sand. Yeah.
Seriously? I'm the
I'm
only one that hand
not
sand?
like Cecilia and you, I guess, there, Keith. Because Cecilia is all
Yeah.
about the hand sanding too.
I do a bit at the end, but yeah, no, I do. I hit it with the flat disc after, because I only bought the red wheel.
The extra course.
So
Yeah.
so which is it leaves it okay. I mean, I hit it with the flat with the wheel afterwards, and then I I just have my little orbital hand sander that I get in there with.
Actually, you got the medium, didn't you? Because I think we had a
is that
little
the red?
discussion about that.
Yeah, because I was like, what one would cut what I want to do, but I didn't want to leave it too just terribly horrible. Yeah, I think it's red.
Yeah.
Maybe is it orange, red?
Yeah, no, I thought you, it goes yellow, red, green, and then orange. Orange is extra coarse.
There's a purple in there too for extreme.
Oh, then that's the extremes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't tried those yet.
Oh yeah, that
And
looks too
there's the
scary
white.
for me.
And
The
there's
white's
white,
the
which is
whisper, yeah.
Yeah, I think I want to try white next. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I haven't
White's
tried
nice.
them yet.
Less sanding.
Yeah.
The whites
White's
are
nice.
nice, but don't lean into it like you're gonna lean into one of the coarser
Yeah.
ones.
No.
I burned up one a little bit doing a spoon one day.
I did notice a little bit of char on your burr there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that orange oil is the best thing, but you lose your color coding.
Do you? It takes it off,
Yeah.
right off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically paint stripper, but I found that's the best to loosen up the tar. And then you can use a nice brass brush, or
I usually just brush
some
'em.
dental picks.
Yeah.
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 Actually,
I
I
end up
learned.
using, go ahead.
Oh, I'll just say that first sphere I bought, I made the mistake of not letting it stop spinning after I turned the device off and hit it with my steel brush, and I actually shaved all the little tungsten off.
Oh,
Yeah. that's a
So
bummer,
brass all the way.
for sure.
I
My
got
daughter was carving up some little bears in the shop here using a Dremel and some of my smaller burrs. And she's using the vise at my workbench, and the top of the vise has a metal piece bolted in. So she went down to the feet of the bears and then says, "Dad, this isn't cutting right." And I'm like, "Honey, there's a piece of steel right there." All the teeth are just gone. I'm like, okay, well, you didn't say that was metal. All right, fair enough. Okay. All right, we'll just get another one.
kids are very literal.
Oh,
yeah,
at
you
least
gotta,
the
you
Dremels
really
are-
gotta.
You got to explain every
Break
little
it
step of the
down.
process,
Yep.
and then when you get
Yep.
to the feet, you got to flip it up.
Yeah, move it around. You gotta
Yeah.
move it around a little bit. So I was
Keep-
looking at the bird. I'm like, yeah, no, we're just gonna have to order a new one of those. That's done.
Yeah.
At least they're not
What
that
are you gonna do?
expensive, man.
Yeah, it's not horrible,
Yeah.
And
No.
to have my 14-year-old out here creating stuff in the shop, like things are gonna happen.
Oh, yeah.
Totally worth it.
That's awesome.
yeah. Once you
bear
have a
looked really good,
collection to
too.
replace one, it's nothing.
What was that, Keith?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I said once you have the collection to replace one or two here and there it's cheap then.
Yeah, when you're just adding.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're buying fresh, if you try to buy like a big collection, yeah, it can really build up. But yeah, when you're just keeping your collection going, then it's just maintenance,
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
accidents happen. I definitely have dropped a wheel like right off my table and dinged it up, so things happen.
Doesn't that make you cry and cuss at the same time?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because you're just like, if I had just planned properly and moved it, it would have been fine. But no, I wanted to sand while my grinder is still sitting on the table.
When I'm chainsaw carving and I incorporate the die grinders with the 1/4-inch shaft, usually the flame burr, and I've got the 1-inch spear out there. I've learned to just wait for it to come to a complete stop before I just kind of throw it on the wood shelf, because I've had it still spinning and clank the other one. I'm like, yep, now I'm buying 2 new burrs. That's great.
So ordering more burrs is nothing unusual
Yeah.
over in your house. I got it.
No. You just you get pumping out work and going to town, listening to music. Next thing you know, you're costing yourself money.
Do any of you guys use a Fordham with the foot pedal?
I've never
Yep,
tried
I've
it,
got
but I've
one of
heard
those.
good things.
It's on my wish list.
So,
It's a
well,
pretty
but
nice tool.
getting back to the shop disasters, don't leave it plugged in and then have somebody who doesn't know that it's plugged in with a burr in it as it's hanging. They walk over
Yep.
and step the pedal.
Yep.
Thing's a death machine.
Your
Not
poor
saying
wife.
that happened
Yeah.
in my shop, but
I was gonna say your poor
Is it
wife.
not a
That's-
t-shirt?
yeah, I got yelled at for that one.
Keith's wife shares a shop with him. So yeah, he's just leaving traps for her, apparently.
Yeah, here and there.
Emmett, I know you said you don't use them like everybody else and you just got into carving, but like a ton of people who turn have been really getting into it lately.
Yeah,
Is that
I
you
wanna
noticed, right?
Yeah, and I want to get I do want to get some smaller, especially the sphere burr. I bought like the cones. I thought they would be like more versatile, but
Mhm.
I really like the look. I've done a couple pieces before I bought my Saburrtooth.
Yeah.
I did an egg that I just did like a dot pattern on the outside, and then I a gold leaf. And actually, that was for Rebecca DeGroot and that podcasts. They did a make a box challenge or something like that.
Gotcha.
About a year or so ago. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was
The turn a box challenge.
yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny because Chris said it was a blessing that he got the sphere instead of the one he ordered. So that's kind of funny. But I've been seeing people like turning crazy bowls and then just doing such amazing textures with the
Yeah.
sphere lately. I can definitely see why that's definitely your next purchase because it's doing really nice stuff.
Yeah.
That texturing, so I grew up as the son of a high-end cabinet maker, so everything was like
Cool.
perfectly smooth, high finish, and the most we texture you got was distressing. My favorite job was taking the sack of walnut shells and hitting all the cabinets with a rubber mallet.
Yeah.
So, you know, distressing the furniture. But some of the guys out there that I've seen that they'll just completely texture with a Saburrtooth sphere and leave those little tooth grooves. And I just can, I tried that and I couldn't bring myself to leave it. I had to sand it back out. I don't know. I like it on other people's stuff, but I can't bring myself to do it on mine. I don't know why.
It's probably because the way
Anybody
you were
else have
raised, I
any?
would assume. You know what I mean? You're still maybe have that ingrained. It shouldn't be that messy.
I'm with you, Chris.
I'm just not that kind of artist.
I want to sand mine out. I've kind of done that with the spheres on the edge of custom tables, and I can't deal with seeing the teeth marks in those grooves. It's so time consuming though to come back through with a flap wheel and make sure you hit every single little one and go through all your sphere grits, but it looks so much better.
I read or I listened to one of your things where you said that faux live edge was your substitute for a frame.
Yes.
And you know,
Yeah.
as a live edge, that roughness works with it.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, but you know, when I'm shaping something though, it's like I'm also I got a variable speed die grinder, and that thing is amazing.
Yeah.
You can put in the flap wheel sanding cylinders, and then you can dial it way down, and it's slow enough for that. Oh my gosh, is that amazing?
Which one
So
is that?
if you ever the Makita.
All right. I've been thinking about it.
Oh, it's amazing. It goes, I think the range is like 25,000 down to 7.
Nice.
You have a Fordham though. You don't need that.
No, Fordham's
you
on my
always
wish
need more
list.
tools.
It's on his wish list.
Oh
Keith.
yeah, him. Yeah, no, this guy.
No, I
Yeah,
thought Kyle.
yeah.
I thought Kyle had it.
I do. So my Fordham I use in the shop when I'm doing finer pieces, like when I'm doing the fish for tables, or I want to do more of a refined piece. The die grinders I end up bringing out in the carving tent when I'm chainsaw carving. And a variable
sense.
speed though, you know, with a die grinder, you've got a bigger tool for those bigger pieces. You can at least hold it in one hand and, you know, not have to look like a patient trying to hold my if you've ever seen the Fordham, you got to hold the tool and hold the motor, you know,
So-
set it all up.
You need a
When
hat with a crane on there, you know.
Yeah.
No, I got the fix for you. I went and got one of those tall shepherd's hooks, like to put a plant on.
Oh yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
So I
yeah.
have one that's like 8 foot tall. I don't know. And I put that outside where I carve, and I just hang my Fordham right from there.
That's a good idea.
Otherwise,
made
you got to
Kyle's
hold it
day.
out straight. And
Yeah,
But-
I'll probably be at the store tomorrow.
I did.
Or
I
or
did get.
you-
I did get a Milwaukee die grinder, which I like. Battery operated, so that worked pretty well.
when you said shepherd's hook, if you have a hard ground, I think an IV stand would work good too to wheel around.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
wheels. Yeah,
Be nice in
bulkier
the
to
shop.
carry,
now.
but yeah. Mobile
Well, if you
though,
can't
yeah.
grind it in the ground,
No, I think that's great because then it's mobile. You can just bring it wherever you want very easily. Yeah.
yeah, I thought
More expensive,
Rebecca
I assume.
DeGroot's. I thought I saw Rebecca DeGroot. She had a mobile cart that holds all her bits and has a high hook for the motor.
Yeah, she's got like a tree or something, right?
Yeah,
I believe she does have a tree.
I think
you're
she
right.
made it.
So what's the one thing that everybody really wants to carve that they haven't yet? Is there anything? I'm curious.
I want to try stone. I want to try a treescape on stone.
Out of
With a
stone?
treescape. Yeah, I think the base on stone with my little trees on it would look really cool.
Especially if there was some kind of light involved or something too for reflection of it. It'd be real neat.
If
That's
you
cool.
do like if you get a translucent alabaster, you could put a light under it or behind it and it'll go through it, which is pretty cool.
Oh,
I did a wave at a blue alabaster. I made a wave with a light underneath.
That's probably why I thought of it because I've seen it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I've seen someone do that.
I don't know what kind of stone you were looking to do, but if you want to make it a light, that's one way to do it.
But it's got to be carvable and drillable so I can attach the trees. So as long as I can get some kind of small hole in it.
Alabaster's
you're using
easily carvable.
Are you using the stone as a base? Or
I think,
for the
yeah, that's
trees?
what no, I'd like to do the stone as a base.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Oh, I thought you were doing the trees with
me
it.
too.
Or
Me too.
that would be cool.
Same
as well.
here.
That's why I was like, the trees lit up would be so awesome.
I think we voted, Emmett. You're doing the trees.
I guess I
We're
gotta
just
figure
gonna
out how to-
design. We're gonna design your dream project for you, and then we'll just commission you to make it for yourself.
Yeah, I guess I have to figure out how to put alabaster on a lathe.
You can do it. I've seen it done. They actually
So-
make round alabaster that you buy it in a round cylinder already. It's already turned perfectly.
Okay.
Same, yeah. And then you can chuck that up and run whatever you want.
I like. We're
Probably
just gonna
put leather
Ooh.
pads in the jaws, so you don't crack it when you tighten it down.
Yeah.
little padding never hurts.
So sounds like everybody here hangs onto the tool and clamps down the piece being carved. Is that correct?
Yes.
I let mine
Yeah.
stay
Has any-
wild usually.
Has
Mine are
anybody
mixed
ever?
it.
Say mine are big. They kind of just lay flat, and I carve on them.
Well,
Pieces
all
like
my
this I'll
carved-
carve in my hand. Like the little
Yeah.
Oh,
fish.
so you do. Okay.
Yeah, I'll
Oh.
put them in a small vise and rough them out, but then, I end up holding it and kind of working my way around the piece.
Okay. So, but you're still holding the tool. I was just wondering if anybody else, all my carving, I've clamped the tools down and I'm freehanding
Yeah,
the
because you
wood
mentioned
into
drill
the
press
bits.
earlier. So I was curious. I figured it was some kind of like rotation that you were doing.
Yep.
Thick. Okay.
Yeah. And I do that with my walking sticks. I mean, all the natural sticks. I'm actually moving the wood freehand, and I actually have these little 360 clamps, the heavy duty clamps that I've got my bench, and it's got that articulating ball, and I have my die grinder in there, and that's what I actually use to shape my bowls and a lot of the walking sticks, because the motion I have is too linear, and I'm going around, and I found that I couldn't achieve that by clamping down the piece. So I don't know if anybody has ever seen one of those old spindle carving machines.
I
that-
haven't.
They're used in the furniture industry, and they're usually like a 3-phase, and there's a 12 to 18 inch spindle with this high speed steel. Basically, it's a router bit, and you do the freehand carving on it, and it's about 20,000 RPM, but takes about 10 minutes to slow down after you shut the switch off. I grew up around one of those, so the concept of putting the tool down and moving the wood around it by hand
made sense.
it just made sense to me.
Yeah.
You're creating spirals though, right? You're doing like a spiral up. Yeah. I feel like you'd have more control, right? You have more control holding the piece then rather than the tool.
Yeah.
The tool's probably going to want to work itself around that rather than being able to corkscrew it across.
Right. And actually,
That makes sense.
here's that the unicorn handle.
That's really cool. That's neat.
The only time I
That is
had
neat.
fun playing with glitter was the spray can glitter.
Is that the original one?
It's one of the original series.
It's really cool. I saw that you dye all of the what are you using? I don't want it, the corn stalk. I don't know. What is it?
It's sorghum, but it's called broom corn
Broom corn. Okay.
because the plant looks like a field corn, but it's broom
Perfect.
corn.
Got you. I saw
yeah,
all
I
the
do
different
dye
colors.
that.
Yeah. I was like, that's so neat. And then you even did a broom through a tennis racket.
Oh
Or-
yeah.
Yeah.
I got about 30 tennis rackets waiting.
I just like to see the creativity. You don't just make brooms, you make pieces of art that are brooms. It's a difference. It's really, really cool to see how inventive you got through the years of doing it, and I was cracking up just because you were addicted to brooms since 2013, is the first thing that you
Oh,
see
yeah.
when you click on your Instagram. It's just I'm like, this guy loves this. This is it does seem like it's your therapy, your time out to just let loose and be creative.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It is literally therapy out here. Very messy therapy, but therapy.
It should be, as it should be.
Yeah.
So how did everybody else
Therapeutic
get into
mess.
this? I'm curious how somebody gets into treescapes. But, I mean,
Like I said,
such a neat little idea.
yeah,
love it.
I kind of just stumbled across it. So after I got all the makers, I tried to somewhat theme each month, like Easter for April. And so when I got to I can't remember when the treescape was. It was September, maybe something like that. I was like, I think it'd be cool to turn a couple little trees and put on a base. And I had a bowl blank that I bought. It was still wet and it just warped like crazy. So I was like, well, I already have a base that sort of has a feel to it, so that I can just square up the bottom and then use that to power, try. And that was another thing I wanted to do with the maker swap, is I wanted to try something new, not just turn something different or
Right.
try my hand at, power carving or whatever. So that's how I kind of did it. And then I really liked it. I did find another guy on Instagram that does the little treescapes. He's from another country because everything's in a different language. He does them really cool. He does more architectural stuff. You can send him
That's cool.
like your house, and he'll build the little house and then little trees around it, and then he puts a glass dome on it. They're super expensive. Nothing that I've never
sure.
sold one of mine, to be honest. So
Yeah.
I give them away as gifts. And I actually have here's the one I made for my wife. Also has the smallest total boat river pour on it. But hers also has there's a little tent right there, and if you turn it on, the fire turns on.
Oh, that is cool.
Oh, that's
But,
so neat.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see it.
So there's a light inside. That was another thing I wanted to try, LED lights. I was going to do that on the original one, and then I chickened out because I didn't trust myself to try to drill a hole under the tent. So my wife, it never turns on. But yeah, I just kind of stumbled into it, and I enjoy making it. And I've given a few away. I've done some trades for trees.
Trades for trees.
Again, it's therapeutic. I can go out and in 4 or 5 hours I can cut takes me about an hour for 10 trees. So to do a little over 10 trees.
That's awesome. Those are really cute and super creative too. Like, I love your comment about the smallest total boat pour.
Yeah, I sent that to them. They shared it when I did it. But
you're like, next time, can I have a sponsorship? I mean, I need a lot of material to make these pours.
yeah. And they
It's
actually
really intense.
they gave me that on one of my swaps I did on my Carta. Actually, I did a sphere. I was going to do a bowl, and I reached out to Total Boat, and they sent me. They asked me how much I needed for the micarta sphere, which is funny because I didn't know what micarta was, and that was another one of my like thoughts. Like, what if anybody's ever done a book in resin and then turned a bowl from it? And then I found Peter Brown had done one. So then I started carving that or lathing that, and I made a sphere instead of a bowl. But yeah, they sent me a gallon. I'm like, I definitely don't need a gallon, so I had stuff left over.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, if you were planning out that project, you'd be like, you'd have to. I'm making 10 of them. I need a lot more material.
Yeah, they sent a gallon for the sphere, and I'm like, because they asked me what I needed. I'm like, I have no idea.
That's
I've never
nice,
used Total
though.
Boat, so
Yeah, now you can play.
yeah.
That's cool. I want to know what got Kyle into the wig wearing in his YouTube videos and Instagram.
You like that, huh?
It's a showman right there.
Hey, you gotta be. You
Mhm.
know, in the world of creating videos and having fun, you gotta try to do something different, stand out sometimes. Honestly, it was something I had talked about doing for a while, maybe not out for everyone to hear, but amongst friends and family.
Yep.
And I said, when I go to do this full time, I'm gonna do something fun once in a while and dress up as Bob Ross and chainsaw carve. So, you know, that's what we were doing for a little bit. Yeah, man.
I love it.
Dress up as Bob Ross.
There's another guy who uses a CNC to like cut out shapes, and then he does a little carving on it, but he also wears it. And it's just pure fun because we all miss Bob Ross. So when you get to see him pop up here and there, it's just like, it's a nice little throwback. And it shows that
it's great.
you're not afraid to be like a little foolish, you know?
I think someone in this meeting could use a wig to make their happy little trees.
Thanks, Chris.
I'm sorry. Is the shine off of Keith's head there? Is it too much for you? Do we need to have him wear a hat next interview?
No, I was talking about the treescapes.
Oh.
I got
Sorry.
it. Keith.
Keith took it personal, so I just had to go with it.
I thought for sure it was because.
So Keith and I talk a lot on, I don't know if you guys ever heard of an app called Clubhouse, but that's how I know him, just because we just harass each other all day. It's just something that's fun for us.
Yeah.
But I really want to know, Keith, what got you into starting a podcast? We never really talk about that.
I don't know.
It just happened one night.
Know. Yeah. I listened to a lot of podcasts for years. So I listen to them as fast as I can, as many as I can get in a day.
Same.
And I work a lot of hours, so I get a lot of time to listen. So I guess I just wanted to do a podcast. So got a couple guys together and off we were.
So nonchalant. He's like, I just wanted one.
Yeah, that's all.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
I'm not big. I'm not
so
big.
many of them that I wanted my own.
Yeah, I'm not big on Instagram or YouTube or anything. So I figure
it's your way, I feel like, to connect with people and other makers and share about what you're seeing out there that you may not tell any other person. Like if you've listened to his podcast, they talk about like what they're doing in their shop and whatever's going on in their lives, but then they'll also highlight other makers too and chat about projects. And then he's very humble and shy, but he also very much like Emmett, where he likes to connect with other makers. He hosts events and things to connect people, to challenge them to build and go out of, their comfort zone and have fun, but he'll never talk about it.
No. Sometimes I will. Sometimes I will.
Sometimes. But no, that's really cool. That,
does anybody else find it weird that it's easier to find people to connect with outside of their like commuting zone. And,
It's pretty funny,
instead
right?
of, yeah, it's so hard to find people locally to get excited about things.
Well,
Like this type of thing.
you say that, but how many people on your street or in your community are power carvers?
Not too many.
Right. So there's not, like, when you have something in common with somebody, even if they're across the world, it's easier to connect with them
Yeah.
via the internet.
It just,
That's true.
there's that the barrier to entry. I know I've talked about it before too. Like when everybody kind of like has a hobby, and it may not be the same. Like all of us do very different art and make very different things, but like you can vibe and connect with people because you share that time in the shop doing what you do, making something cool. And it's may not be to sell, it may just be for you, but it's something that we all enjoy. I feel like it really connects everybody. I think it's really cool.
I think before the whole internet age, most people connected over sports or what was
Mhm.
on TV, but you're watching the same thing. So everyone watches the same game. There's only
Yeah.
an hour to talk about later on.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have difference of opinion, but you're really watching the same game. When you're doing something like power carving, each one of us does something different with the same tools.
Yeah.
There could be a technique to talk about. There's always something new going on with what we're doing. So it's a different way
Never
of
thought I'd be
connecting.
part of a sports analogy.
Well, you were.
Go sports.
Yay balls.
But no, it makes perfect sense though. I mean, yeah, this, and in fact, I kind of dove into this specifically because it doesn't make me a part of the 1 to 2 dozen potters that are already in town or painters. You go to the street market and there's nobody else that does this power carving, so
Yeah.
I did kind of do it to myself, making myself unique on purpose.
That's a good
I don't know if
strategy.
anybody else kind of did that or if it just kind of fell in
I
the lap,
did.
but
I wanted to do pop art in a very different way than anybody else does. Like I wanted to have my image carved in instead of just painting something. And I wanted texture. And like as you said, like I didn't feel like framing stuff. So texture just came in naturally to eliminate having a need for a frame on my pieces. So it kind of just pushed. I don't know anybody else doing stuff like that. Like maybe that'll change, but like it does feel nice to stand out and be different from what everybody else is doing. And I feel like, it's just everybody kind of finds their own style, but it is fun when you kind of go for it intentionally,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's nice to create pieces that don't just fall in line with everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I'm chainsaw carving, people want me to create the same thing, like the exact same bear that looks the same. And I'm like, yeah, that's not what I do. That's not how I create, The goal is to give everything a little different twist or an expression or just a different look. Or for me,
Try
if I'm
something
creating
different.
this, yeah, exactly. Just try something different you haven't seen before. If it comes out good, cool. If it doesn't, well, they burn, no
Mhm.
big deal.
A bear becomes a bird.
Yeah, turn it into something else. Something I've learned though, what's kind of funny, something I've learned because I sell my art. I'm doing this full time now. The piece you create, there's always somebody out there that's gonna love it. You might hate it, you might think it's the worst thing you've done, but like if you hang on to it, if you go to craft fairs or shows or whatever, the person that piece is meant for will come along and be absolutely head over heels for it. It seems to happen. I've had pieces that I've thought were just absolutely atrocious. And I decided to have a mindset of, regardless to where I'm at in this piece, I'm going to finish it to completion and bring it to whatever the event is. And people walk away on cloud 9 that they were able to get that piece. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that thing almost went in the bonfire.
It's funny you say that. My wife and I have a joke. I'll show her something new, and she goes, "Oh, I hate it." And I'll be like, "Yes," because that'll be the first thing that goes. And if she loves it, I'm like, "Dang it."
That one's gonna
Yeah,
kick around for a while.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I know that the rustic furniture that I build some high-end pieces, and it is not my wife's style. She's into farmhouse stuff. So she'll be like, "Oh, that's awful." But then the people it's meant for, that's exactly what they were looking for.
Are all your
It's funny how that works.
are all the bear carvings that you do like somewhat realistic?
So my goal is to get my pieces more realistic every year.
Okay.
I, cute and cuddly people love and they sell easy, but I eventually want to get to a point where I'm able to create realistic bears. And it's tough because, self-teaching as I go and trying to pick up different techniques from, maybe other YouTubers or carvers I meet along the way. So a lot of it's, trial and error and trying new things on the fly and just seeing how it works out.
We have a market here, and there was one guy who did realistic animals like birds, bears, whatever. And he was pretty good. He's probably real good, but he brought on a counterpart, and that guy makes a cartoon version of everything the first guy makes, and they put it out on the road. So they'll be like the bear that's all realistic and it's well done, and then the cartoon version of that bear, or he'll carve an owl. This guy makes the cartoon version of that owl. It's funny how they go
That's
back
really
and forth.
fun to watch, though. Like
Yeah.
as a passerby,
Are they friends?
They work
Did
at the
you say they're
same
friends?
yard. Yeah. I don't know if
Okay.
they're friends or not. But there's
You're
like a
watching
local
war happen every day, and you have no idea. There's a battle happening.
Yeah.
It's just a competition all day long.
It's one place.
Looking
Like
over
they
the
work
fence.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's at the local sawmill, and these two chainsaw carvers take whatever they're not going to mill up, and they chainsaw it right there. So if you want to go buy a slab, that's where you go.
Mhm.
It's green, but then these guys are carving up the wood they're not going to carve up, or the perfect piece for whatever animal it is. And then they just have the two versions of everything out there. It's kind of funny.
It's pretty cool though. It really is, because like I said though, there's a piece for everybody. Somebody's gonna look at that realistic piece and be like, that's that. Oh, look at this weird, cute, cuddly cartoon thing. That's what I want.
I so want
It's-
to start chainsaw carving. Like that is just like the next place I want to go. I'm like, are there a lot of videos to teach you stuff out there, or is it all like you have to just watch and learn from what they're doing, but nobody's actually teaching you too much? I know that's what you are doing too, but I'm just other people. Is there a lot of people out there?
So like when I started carving, I couldn't find tutorials and step by step and walkthroughs. So that's kind of why I started my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
To, like a lot of my early videos are awful, but they're at least watching me grow.
Yeah.
And then getting into step by step and showing people cut for cut
Yeah,
and
you
things
do it
like that.
beautifully. I watched a couple earlier. It's really nice.
There are some other carvers, but I haven't seen another channel that's, and I'm not trying to boast, I haven't seen another channel yet though that has like really focused a lot on tutorials, even if it's just creating bears over and over again.
Yeah.
It still amazes me that somebody's like, oh, I watched, this bear video, but then I watched your new one and found it to be totally different. And I'm thinking, to me, it was the same, but okay, cool.
Yeah.
Whatever
I've
helps you
always
out.
wondered that, like, I figured most people just learn by doing. Just, they see it and they just try.
Just try and you go for it. I mean,
Yeah.
one thing I always try to tell like beginner chainsaw carvers is like, it's just making the first cut.
Yeah.
That's where you got to start. You just got to get over the fear of the fact you're running a chainsaw and it's dangerous. Everything we do is dangerous. You're running a lathe, it's dangerous. You're using a CNC, it can be dangerous. Even a Dremel can tear your finger apart. I mean, we got to take proper safety precautions and you just got to go for it.
Yeah. Well, it's cool.
Has anybody ever fallen in love with something that could be done really quick and nobody has an interest in it? Like
Constantly.
I was taking some. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I'm not the only. Oh my gosh.
No, you're not.
I'm like, I wish I was
Oh.
a seller because it's so easy to make. Takes 4 minutes to
Oh my
carve,
gosh. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, how do you guys just throw that in the bonfire, or do you just they turn into
Eventually.
family gifts?
things you hand out to kids at craft fairs.
Here, kid, take this.
Here, you want something cool? Yeah, this is yours. Oh, yep. See ya.
The O.
Well,
It happens.
yeah. Oh, that's funny.
What
I'll
did
have
you
to
love
keep
so
that in
much
mind.
that didn't sell that was easy to make? I'm curious.
Well, well, you've been stalking, so you probably fresh in your memory. But those little potato skin bowls,
oh yes.
I just cut the stick down the middle, and then I was using a sphere to hollow it out, and it was live edge except for where I was rounding the ends. And I just thought, these are so cool. Everybody loves knick-knacky things. Oh my gosh, they weren't even looked at the street fair I was at a month ago.
Diet of color. You never know.
Oh,
some color.
all sorts of different colors.
Yeah. Oh, you already have colors.
I don't
Okay.
know.
I didn't.
Like cedar, cedar, mulberry, mystery wood. I actually put on their species, question mark, question mark, question mark. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
But
All I could say was add color, like a bright pink or something. Draw the kids in.
it's like I have this dye for the broom car. It's like even RIT would work. Just dunk them in there. Hey, you already got your water popping. Then you're raising the grain.
Get all done at once.
But I thought about that after I was thinking, it's like, something different.
Yeah.
I think the dye would probably be the ticket.
I think so. People just like something that catches their eye and that's different. Like there is a place for natural wood tones, but sometimes color. I mean, look at the background of Kyle. I'm seeing the red, the blues, like it's standing out and I can't stop looking at it, to be honest, because I see color.
Yeah. We got the owl with a blue dark sky background and a cardinal and a dragon.
Yep.
Thought it add a little color to the video today.
Yeah, no, it looks great.
The rest of my shop is like sticks on the ceiling and slabs and boards and
I know I'm currently rearranging my room. So you have the spot I didn't actually plan on showing on video where I have a nice spot over there, but I'm rearranging. I'm rearranging in here right now. Kyle, what were you doing before you became full-time? I'm really curious.
I worked at a yogurt plant as a supervisor. I've been there 14 years.
Culture job.
Yeah, sitting at a desk and going nuts that I was sitting at a desk for 12 hours a day when I could be in my shop making stuff.
Yeah, I understand.
Driving me crazy.
I go
orders rolling in and yeah,
that's why I was curious. I had the same experience sitting at a desk all day when I wanted to be doing something creative. It was just killing me.
Yeah. I mean, things of the job, I help push you out the door, but without getting too much into that, I mean,
oh yeah,
being a creative person, for me, sitting at a desk and kind of giving direction to everyone else, it just, you want to learn to chainsaw carve, I'll give you direction in that all day long. You want that other job, forget it. Drive me crazy.
You like to teach, you like to help people,
but
like with something that you actually are passionate about. It makes sense.
Right. Yep.
So have you found any of the new battery powered stuff up to the task for doing that chainsaw carving, or is it still two-cycle stuff?
Well, I really haven't. Well, other than I have battery powered chainsaws. As far as power tools, I don't use any battery powered power tools. So Steel has I guess it's their professional line of chainsaws. They're battery powered that I run, and I've got the 3 of those that they offer. They do a pretty good job. They're pretty good with like the small to medium bears and detail work. So a lot of the times I'll block something out with a gas saw. What the heck? Gas saw.
I don't know if that was some kind of cool chainsaw lingo.
No. Yeah.
No.
Chainsaw. It's a chaw.
No, that's me just, getting carried away. I do find them to get like bogged down though if I really want to take out big chunks. So I'll block things out with the gas, come through and finish it up with battery. But I've got a good friend town over who's given me a spot to carve, so I'll block things out with gas chainsaws and then bring them home, because I literally live in the middle of town. And now when I'm home, I use the battery saws and power tools to finish them up.
Makes sense. You can
The
have
batteries
batteries
so-
charging.
Are the battery saws heavier? Equal?
You know, yeah, I think they're pretty equal. I mean, the weight of the battery is probably close to the weight of a tank of gas. You know, they both still take bar oil. The battery saws might be a little bit lighter because you're running a shorter and smaller bar on it compared to something longer that, you know, weighs more. The real downfall with the battery saws is there's no anti-vibration in the handles. So if I'm, you know, have a lot of pieces that are ready for detail work, by the end of the day, my fingers are tingly. You might feel it in the elbow and things like that. Where the gas saws eat up a lot of that vibration because there's springs built right into the handles.
That's interesting. You must give Steel the feedback. Please put
You
some
know, I've tried.
anti-vibration in here.
I've tried. I've written reviews that just, you know, I wish they'd reach out and say,
Yeah.
design us something.
Yeah, right. That's a good point, though. That was a great question too, Keith, because I would much prefer a battery operated machine than gas. Just easier, starts up right away for me. Listen, do you know how many times I've gone to like take care of my leaves and I can't get the damn thing to start, and I'm like, and I can't
True
get
fuel. Switch to True
Okay.
Fuel. You'll be fine. Only run True Fuel.
Oh, there you go. There's a solution. True Fuel. Because that's my thing. Is like I can't get a leaf blower started. So how am I gonna get a chainsaw started? That's my fear.
I've done electrical on those things specifically for that reason. I'm not a motorhead. I'd rather fight.
Thank
I'd
you,
rather
Chris.
fight the plugs. I'd rather fight the cords than the carburetor.
I have learned that my dad's like is a mechanic, so like he is a gearhead and stuff. And I've learned over the years it's always the carburetor. Like, you know what I mean? I always hear that. But
Pretty much.
Right?
Carburetor or the spark plug. That's
That said,
carburetor
for
or
my-
spark plug.
On my
Oh,
generator,
seafoam.
I always keep an extra carburetor. Because
Yeah.
if my power's out and I can't get that thing started,
Yeah, just
I'm
change
not
it.
fiddling. Yeah, I'm not gonna fiddle
Swap
with
it out.
Mhm.
Swap it out and go ahead.
Emmett's nodding away. I'm guessing you also agree it's always the carburetor.
I don't do gas stuff either.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
one, I live in town as well, as you can see from the window behind me. Those are my neighbors, not far.
Oh no.
But
Yeah.
yeah, my
The sky
piece
is a
of
beautiful
property.
pink right now.
Yeah, it's we had a really nasty storm run through. I was hoping I would have internet and power when this started. But yeah, my piece of property is only 60 by 40 feet, and I have a 30 by 30 house with a 1-car garage. So I don't have much yard. So I have an electric push mower, an electric weed eater, and I pay somebody to cut my grass now. So I'm actually selling both of those because I haven't used them in like 4 years. So, but yeah, I'd much rather just get the cord out and not fiddle with things.
The mower
It really is easier.
Gas. Yeah, right. Going battery or electric. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in the scheme of things, like being able to just pop a battery in and go, it's so much easier. It really is.
Like, what's your maintenance? You got to plug in those batteries and charge them. You know, like,
Exactly.
and
I
keep your
mean,
bar oil. Keep your bar oil. Clean your shit.
there is the upfront cost ratio though is
Yeah.
considerable, but in the long run, for the most part, as long as you keep it oiled and your battery charged, you really don't have to mess around with nothing.
I bought a chainsaw just to prune the trees, just so I can get myself eased into it. And I went with a battery operated. And now I want to cut
Yeah,
down
there you
everything.
go.
I'm like, let's go. But I've got an acre of land where stuff is just overgrowing and trying to attack me. So it needed to be taken
There
care
you go.
of. It was my excuse to get a chainsaw, any kind of chainsaw.
So do you guys also have friends that say, oh, are you looking for wood? I got this tree that needs to be cut down. And
Yes.
Like you're aching to go cut their tree down for them so you can have the wood.
Free labor.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
I really don't think people understand how much work goes into that just by itself, taking a tree down.
Mhm.
oh no.
Ugh.
I'm in a wood guild here, and somebody sent out an email that there's 20 trees, but 10 ash trees on either side of their driveway that they want to have cut down because they have the fear of the ash borer.
Yeah.
But you can keep the wood if you cut them down, and they're only charging $6,000 a tree.
Wow.
Sounds very legit.
Who's charging?
The
The
homeowner.
owner's charging?
Oh yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're charging you.
Delete that email. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. They're charging you to do the labor and haul it off
Yeah.
Sounds
no.
like a deal.
That's
Yeah.
for both.
It's not
wood
even a
and wood.
deal.
See if they'll take it for 7.
They must have a master's degree.
Is at first in the email chain, everyone was all over it. Like, I'll do it, you know? And then they're like, okay, great. You can send your payment here. And they're like, wait a second. I'm getting paid $6,000 now. They're like, no, it's $6,000 a tree is what they're charging for the wood. They're like, no, see ya.
Yeah.
Wow.
It didn't make any sense.
I guess. No, not at all. I found
No,
people don't usually know what they have or what things are worth. Like people want to sell me a tree or a log that's down, but the seller hasn't done the research to actually see what they have, like what's it worth.
Mhm.
Like I recently had a good deal on a walnut. Friend of mine, they run a contracting business and they're having a walnut tree taken down, and I was able to get in there, do a little bit of work for them so that the tree service company could come in, give them some money for the tree and have it hauled away. But I've found a lot of homeowners, like if it's a walnut tree, they instantly think they're sitting on $10,000.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
$10,000 maybe once you cut it, slab it, grade it, dry it.
That's why dry it too. That's key.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise,
No,
it's a whole
it's-
lot of work in your hands.
And even then, it better be a beautiful piece of wood if you think it's worth 10 grand.
Yeah, exactly. So you've had that, Chris? You
Well-
people do that too quite a bit?
Well, thankfully they haven't charged me, but I've I recently discovered lilac. So I had a couple of plants that have been severely overgrown. So like the base of the branches were like 4 inches across on a couple of them.
Oh, wow.
And most of them. But have you ever worked with lilac? Somebody told me it was twice as hard as white oak, and I believe them.
Really?
And but yeah, so now all of a sudden I have at least two people that have told me, oh, I got an overgrown lilac too. You can come on, cut it, and
Is it worth the
I'm-
fight?
I think so, because
Yeah.
you get some. It's naturally purple if you're lucky.
Oh, that's cool.
You get some really cool natural colors, alternating grains. And
You're not
I've
talking about
started doing-
it's not a very big tree, right? It's not you're only talking about something
no.
that's
It's perfect
No,
for what
but,
he does, though, for sure.
right.
Yeah, I've been doing spoons and like little utensils until I was getting free wood. I didn't find much point in wooden spreaders, but now they're fun.
Right.
It's like
I had
I'm not go. Yeah,
the problem of I just couldn't stop grabbing free wood, so now I have too much free wood situation. My shop is overflowing.
Yeah, that's my problem too. I have too much wood. Free
Yeah.
wood, I take it. Scrap wood. Yeah, I'll take your scrap wood. I'll carve something out of it.
Yeah.
Goes in the bucket. I haven't touched it in years. But I just looked it up, and lilac wood is almost twice as hard as white oak.
yeah. It's a pain in the butt to
23.90
sand.
to 13.60.
got to smell good though, cutting it.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
better than incense.
that's nice.
Not as
though.
pungent as red cedar.
So it's a win all the way around. It's free.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It's pretty. And it smells awesome.
It does split funny though, because it grows twisted. I haven't figured out how to keep it from splitting in the middle, even though I paint the ends. So
It's a tough one.
I just work with it. It's fun though.
part of making, right? Just taking care of all the things that happen while you're doing something. Gotta fix that. Gotta fix this. How can I make that work?
Fill it with epoxy.
Yeah.
There you go. Let it dry, split, and just fill it with epoxy.
There's so many uses.
Yeah, I
Well-
gotten hooked on that Starbond stuff too. You know, with the little cracks.
Mm-hmm.
You
You
know,
can't
the,
beat
the
an instant
accelerate.
fix. Yeah.
Oh gosh, no.
I showed my dad that because he's not on Instagram. He doesn't know what Starbond is, and he's a woodworker himself. But he said he sent over a vanity top for me to power carve for him, and it had all these holes and stuff that he didn't fill. So I just like did it in front of him, and he's just like, "Say, what is this stuff? Like, what magic are you doing in front of me?" I was like, "Yeah, it's cool, man. It just fills those voids up." It is nice having tools to do that.
I was just looking at that stuff today, actually, that Starbond.
It works.
It's good stuff.
It does
Oh,
work
it's
as
awesome.
advertised. Yeah.
I was filling up a hole on a mallet and didn't realize that this hairline crack on the other side was a continuation. And I was actually making a puddle on my table saw.
Yeah, it will leak through. Yeah, yeah. If there's a way
Oh
to get
gosh,
out,
yes.
it'll find a way out. Yes, 100%. Keith,
It
what
always
did you
leaks
want
in
to
the palm of my
say?
hand.
Yeah. Then you do the forehead slap and then it's instant stick.
What'd you say, Keith?
You could use any CA glue. It doesn't have to be Starbond.
Oh no, exactly. Yeah, but like I didn't
Yeah.
even know that stuff existed before. Like, and then with the
Yeah.
accelerator and stuff, just to see that reaction happen and know that it happened, like you can do that. It's pretty cool. Well, guys, thank you for coming out and hanging out and chatting tonight. I know it goes by really quick, but it was nice just kind of getting to know all of you. And we'll definitely have to have you guys back on one day for an individual one. But we just really wanted to have fun and mix it up and let other carvers and makers just kind of chat with each other and ask questions and get to know each other. So I hope you enjoyed
Yeah.
the time.
I did. Yeah. I guess I don't know if anybody else has any advice, but for me it was just have no fear. You can, like I said, you can always throw it in the bonfire if it doesn't
we
work.
always need more firewood, right?
Practice
Thank
on
you
your
so
current
much.
firewood.
Well, I really appreciated the invite and this was a lot of fun.
Same
Good.
here.
Good. I'm
Yeah,
glad.
thanks, Tiff.
Oh.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Thanks,
absolutely. I
Saburrtooth.
appreciate it.
Yes. Thanks,
Yeah,
Jody.
thanks, Dave.
Honestly,
the whole
and thanks
team over there,
Saburrtooth.
but
Yeah,
thanks,
seriously,
Jody.
their whole team is awesome, and
I
they're
noticed
just
we
a
all
great
have the
company.
uniform.
I thought we were all going to get different shirts.
She is. She does have some new ones coming out that say "Keep on Carving." I might have just blown a secret, but yeah. So there's some new shirts coming
Edit,
out.
edit.
You can edit that out.
I can edit it
Yeah,
out.
just
You guys
edit
get to
that
know
out.
because you're on the show. But yeah, so there's some new shirts coming out that she's working on, which is really cool. And she's starting to have myself and Sadie from the Awesome Orange start going to some events. So we're going to be at Makers Camp. If anybody's coming this October, come on by and carve and hang out. Yeah, I know Keith is going to be there for sure, but it's in New York. So I
Maker
mean, you're
swap.
not too far. Yeah.
Nope, I'm
Kyle.
not.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, it's not too far away. It's in the Catskills in New York.
I've
But,
tried real
Not
hard.
bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got my
Start
wife
walking
was
now.
my wife really liked the Netflix show, so I was like, we could go to Maker Camp.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, no.
So then you got to spin it. I could go to Maker.
Well, I also tried that too. So maybe one
I
day.
just want to come so I can say one time at Maker Camp.
Yeah.
There are fun stories to tell like that, though.
I do have stories from Maker Camp that
Yes.
start with one time at Maker
Yeah.
Camp.
We went last year and it was a ton of fun. And this year it's so cool to like be in the Saburrtooth booth and like teaching people how to power carve and having them do like quick carve competitions. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So
Awesome.
sadly, Emmett, you won't be there. Chris is going to start walking now. Wonderful. And maybe we
I'm
can
still
convince
I'm still
Kyle.
working on it, but
Yeah.
I believe it's sold out though, so there's no chance of me.
Is it sold out? I think maybe just the rooms
No?
are sold out.
Okay.
The actual
Oh, yeah, I
event
can
is not
attend.
sold out. It's the room. So you would just have to get like a
Yeah.
campsite nearby. That's
The
all.
the
other-
la-
Go ahead, Keith.
The last I heard, the sister hotel still had rooms.
Right. Yeah. The problem I have is I'm going to the high caliber camp that's put on by a group. I know Keith's going to be there.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
But it's only that's 2 weeks after Maker Camp. So
Yeah, you're
to
asking
me
for
to
the
try to get
world
2 weeks
there.
off in 1 month, my boss would kill me.
Well, hopefully we'll see you guys at an event one day. But otherwise, we're gonna just harass Kyle until it gets closer, since he's close. I mean,
Come on,
just being
Kyle.
silly. Come on, Kyle. $15, just a day pass. You don't have to do anything. Just watch. It's fun.
Oh, I don't have to do nothing. Just show up, right?
Yeah.
And then just be jealous that you only pay
Yeah.
$50 a day.
Yeah, go
Well,
back and get the wristband.
Exactly. Then you go on back and you upgrade. Then you come out and have some fun. Well, all right, guys, I'll bid you adieu and let you go and take care of your evenings. But again, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. And it's been really nice getting to know you. So I can't wait to keep,
This was a lot of fun.
getting to know you guys more.
It was
Yeah, it
awesome
was. I
meeting you
appreciate
guys.
Yeah.
It
Great.
was cool chatting with you guys.
Yeah. Thanks
I'll let you,
so much for asking.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, I hope you enjoyed getting to know all of those awesome gentlemen. They all are super talented in very, very different ways, and it was a lot of fun just getting to know them. The only one I knew was Keith from Blackthorn Concepts, so it's always a pleasure to sit down and just chat with someone new and get to know them, because the barrier is already broken for entry. We all love power carving, so it makes it for an easy conversation. If you want to check out their profiles, we highly recommend it. So go check them out. We'll have them all listed in the show notes. And we just want to talk about something that's coming up this October 7th through 10th. It's the Catskill Maker Camp, and that is in New York in the Catskills. And it is just a really fun, hands-on event where folks come and learn a little bit of everything. So myself and Sadie Mae from the Awesome Orange are going to be there doing quick carve competitions. We're going to be doing demos. And then if you already carve and you want to show off your skills, we'd love to come over and have you check it out and let us see what you do and teach us, because that would be a lot of fun. But if you're brand new to the carving world and you want to learn how to use these tools, this is the perfect place. You're going to be able to see, touch, and do everything. And a big shout out to Works Tools for sending us over the rotary tools and the 2-inch angle grinders that we're going to be using there, and a couple other goodies. So we're going to have a really fun tent. We really hope to see you at the Makers Camp this year. And we just hope you have a great day. All right, you guys have a good one. And don't forget, keep on carving.